The pound versus US dollar is lower. The euro versus US dollar continues its ups and downs with overhead resistance stalling, and the dollar versus yen is moving to the upside and trading here today. I'll go through three of these major currency pairs to kickstart your US trading session. So let's get started. What we saw in trading yesterday was that the 100-hour moving average did find support on not one but twice, two different occasions, and the market moved up. We also saw the price move above the 200-hour moving average. It's a green line in this chart over the last 2 days, with the price moving above a number of different times, but each of the time the market moved above those levels, we couldn't sustain any momentum. In trading here today, we started off the day between the 200 and 100-hour moving average, and this time we found willing sellers below the 100-hour moving average through here. That failed. We moved up and tested the 200-hour moving average up here, and this time we found willing sellers against the 200-hour moving average. So in trading yesterday, we found buyers against the 100-hour moving average. In trading and today, we're seeing sellers against the 200-hour moving average, and we're seeing failures, or we have seen one failure still undecided on the second break below the 100-hour moving average. But the question comes for traders is, when are we going to get out of this range? When are we going to move away from this area? The market needs a shove, and the shove today is with a more negative bias. We'll see if the price can stay below the 100-hour moving average. If so, then we have stand to move down toward, let's say, this double bottom that we saw in trading last week near the 113.07 level. If we break below that level, then we start to look toward the 1271 to 75 area. Recall, and this is becoming redundant, that the 61.8% retracement of the range from the 2020 high to the 2022 low, that's this range right here, comes in at 1.1271. We also know that this high price going back to 2023, the high price from 2023, as a matter of fact, comes in at 1.1271, so 71 to 75 is that support target on the downside. I have it earmarked by a line cut across near the 73, 74 type level, just as a reminder, and below that we have the 38.2% retracement. So that's a progression to the downside if this momentum is going to continue below the 100-hour moving average. If we fail with the 100-hour moving average, and look for a break of the 200-hour moving average, a potential break of the 200-hour moving average to increase the bullish bias for this pair. I have traders looking toward perhaps this high right here, maybe this high right here, and then start to look toward the extreme up here. Let's take a look at the dollar versus yen next, and here we're looking at the hourly chart once again. And in trading yesterday, we did try to yesterday and the day before, we did try to move into this swing area through here between 141.64 and 142.10 or 11. If you go back to the 4-hour chart and look back in time, I'm going to squeeze it together here to this area right through here. This is where it was defined. Back here, yes, we did have extremes coming down here, which were more or less mirrored here. But this area between 141.64, 141.42 to 11 was a test and trading yesterday. We couldn't sustain momentum below those levels. If we go back to the hourly chart and squeeze it back in, the move to the upside in trading here today is now taking the price back above both the 200-hour moving average. It's a green line in this chart. Each of the time the market moved into the yellow area, we broke below the 200-hour moving average, but we also now moved above the 100-hour moving average. It seems a similar type of move that we saw in the euro versus US dollar with its moving averages. Getting and staying above the 100-hour moving average at 142.877 would be more bullish for this pair. I have traders looking toward other highs and potentially toward the 38.2% retracement. We always like to get to the 38.2% retracement after a trend type move. If you can't get to that level like we couldn't on last Friday's trade, then you get this failure. You get this rotation to the downside. So if you're going to aspire to move higher, we need to get above these areas right through here, and then we need to get to the 38.2% retracement. First things first, we need to stay above the 100-hour moving average. If we move back between those two moving averages, we're back into neutral territory in the short term, and traders are still figuring out which way it wants to go. Finally, we'll take a look at this sterling versus US dollar. This currency pair, you see this break above these highs right through here, above 134.334. I have to go to the daily chart, and you see this high right here. That comes in at 1.34334. So we broke to the highest level, going all the way back to this point right here, which is in 2022. The end of February 2022, but the momentum could not be sustained. You can see how we had trouble at that high yesterday, and we rotated to the downside modestly. Basically, all through the U.S. session yesterday, we just moved sideways in a very narrow trading range. Today, in the Asian session, we started to move a little bit to the downside, and then we corrected a little bit and continued to move to the downside in the European session. And that brings us down to the 200, 100-hour moving averages, the green and blue lines. The first step is a 100-hour moving average at 1.3353. The next one is the 200-hour moving average at 1.33396. We're going to need to get below both of those levels and stay below. We tried to do that here. We tried to do that here. We tried to do that here. We tried to do that here and here in trading this week and last week, but could not sustain the momentum. Get below both those levels is needed to increase the bearish bias. If we can't, then a bounce off that level would be eyed, and look at rotation, continue the rotation toward the highs. So there you have it. A look at the three major currency pairs to kickstart your U.S. and new trading session for U.S. traders. My name is Greg McCloskey. Good fortune with your trading. Bye-bye now.